You don't always have to be performing at your peak all the time. What do I mean by this? Oh, this is just a thought that I came across on my rare scrolls through Instagram, the app where you post the highlights of your life to make your friends seem like you're having the time of your life all the time. You would think everyone was living the best times of their life by the way you see just everyone just gallivanting and just showing that they're living the life of luxury all the time. I can't be the only one that scrolls through that and just thinks, man, this is just corny how fake we have to present ourselves on social media. It's, annoying but true. It's like the thing that you have to show off on social media to be successful, or so has proven in times past. But, when you're living that life or thinking that you have to live that kind of life, 100% of the time, you're going to be disappointed with the results that you actually get. I remember back when I was a performer, I was a dancer in college and all the way through high school. And I remember when I was dancing, I was always looking for looking towards the next big dance that I was going to have to do. And for some reason, my biggest goal was to just go 100% out. Like, this is the performance that I'm going to do that's going to show everyone at my school that I was a really good dancer. Or, if I was performing a musical, I'd show that I was the best performer on stage. And when I did that, it felt good at the moment. Like, I was glad to be doing the best that I could with my ability. And when the show was over, and there was no more performing to get that feeling back in my system again. It was a really good feeling, but after the performance was over, it was like, what's the next thing? What's next? And I was just like, I just did the next thing. Like, the last thing was the next thing, but now I need a new next thing. Like, there was a satisfaction with performing well, but then there was just like this feeling of emptiness when I guess more was expected from me. I guess I had this feeling of always having to prove myself, always having to be that person that people saw me on stage to be. And then when it felt like more was expected from me, I couldn't always be puffing my chest out. Like, try puffing your chest out all day if that's not your natural standing position. Try puffing your chest out. See how long you could hold that. That's what the metaphor I'm going for here is. If you were to 100% try to puff your chest out to look like the strongest person in the room all the time, well, first of all, you'd get uncomfortable because that's not your natural posture. And secondly, it just, it isn't real. That's not really you. And this is why I'm always sort of, grimacing when I scroll through social media. Because I know what I see on the screen isn't real. I know that I could pull this backdrop all the way up and make it look like I'm in a studio. But how real would that be to be putting on this front that I'm recording at a studio? We're just regular people out here. How many of us have a studio? It's a little unrealistic, but I got my Mega Man poster in the background and my curtains. I could get a haircut, but if I waited every moment that I had a haircut to record, then I would probably rarely put a video out in the first place. You can't wait until you're at your 100% to perform. Sometimes you gotta perform while you're at 80% strength, and that's enough momentum to push you through the day. You gotta push through the day at lower energy levels, and know that the efforts that you're making will be enough to get you to where you need to be for that day. I commend the people that do perform 100%. That's an amazing feat, and it'll probably do well with your numbers in the algorithm. But I just know that if I'm 100% real with you, then that means the work that I give to you guys is 100% unique, because no one else can bring what I bring when I bring my real self out. I remember when I was learning dance, I was going to dance school, and my teachers would point out the fact that people go to a performance to see tricks. And what do I mean by that? Everyone wants to see the pirouettes. Everyone wants to see the mid-air jump splits. But those tricks you see at every performance. When I go to a performance, I want to see something new. I want to see something that I can't see at another performance. And the only way you could get that is if the dancers bring their real self to the stage. When the performance is the real persons on the stage, the real people on the stage. When the uniqueness of the performance is that much different from another performance, that will draw me back to see that performance again. And thinking back, when you see these celebrities on the Instagram, they're always looking flashy, always looking cool. But back when the pandemic was happening and those celebrities didn't need to be at their 100%, you saw, DJ Khaled, and he had gray hairs, and that was a big surprise. No one, I didn't know that DJ Khaled had gray hairs. I didn't know that these people, when they're not wearing makeup, they looked their age. They looked like real people. And, if they could afford looking like that 100% performer all the time, kudos to them. But I want to be different. I want to bring something that people have not seen before. And bringing your real self to the stage also has its advantages and disadvantages. When you bring your real self to people, they're not always going to receive that well. And maybe that's not the audience that was meant for me. But I know that there are people that relate to the position that I'm in. I know that when people see my work, even though they might not like what they see, I'll be able to at least leave that impression to them that they have not encountered this kind of individual before. I want everyone watching this to realize that no one can be a better you than you. I remember doing a bunch of research into a bunch of businesses, and every time I saw a new venture that I was interested in, there would be this group of people that would say that this market is already saturated, that market is already saturated, this market is always saturated. And then it just seems like when you do all this research, you get into an analysis paralysis, as they call it. And that seems like a position that would suck, because now you have gained all this knowledge that you feel like you can't do anything, so you end up doing nothing. But the thing that all these markets, all these pieces of content that you put out that seem like there's already too much saturation going on, that market hasn't seen you yet. So it isn't saturated. What you bring to the table is too unique for that market to get saturated. If you put your mind to things, then nothing is ever saturated because it hasn't experienced you yet. Take that for what it's worth. Don't let you not being at your 100% stop you from doing something, because you won't always be at your 100%. So go now.